Tonight we're looking at drought conditions in the Blackfoot Valley, and tonight we're looking at the impacts of low flows on river recreation. The Blackfoot River hit several record lows for water this year, including most of the month of September, along with below normal stream flow throughout the summer. The iconic river is a popular fishing and floating destination for both locals and visitors, bringing fun and money to the region. But this year, a combination of high temperatures, little rain, and a compounding drought took its toll on everything along the river, from the fish to the people who rely on them.
Anything that lives in the water, basically the amount of water that is there, that's their entire world. So as that shrinks, their habitat just shrinks with it, and there's all kinds of stressors that come with that, especially when you have multiple years in a row like that. The impacts just kind of stack up. Of course, if you're a recreational boater, or if you're a fisherman or an outfitter, those impacts extend to you as well, as you're trying to get out there and enjoy the river. You know, people were just scraping bottom this year.
Tonight at 10, we'll hear from MTN's Carolyn Weiss, who spoke with an outfitter about conditions on the river this summer. In the aftermath of the held climate case from 2 years ago, Montana regulators began analyzing how projects could affect greenhouse gas emissions. Now leaders have proposed a new document providing more guidance for conducting that analysis. MTN senior political reporter Jonathan Ambarian has a closer look at what they're proposing.
Prior to 2023, Montana law said state agencies couldn't consider greenhouse gas emissions or associated climate impacts when doing environmental reviews of planned projects. But the rulings in Held versus Montana said that prohibition was invalid. Bo Wilkins, chief of the Department of Environmental Quality's Air Quality Bureau, says DEQ began doing greenhouse gas assessments after Held. During the 2025 legislative session, lawmakers approved Senate Bill 221, which directed DEQ to put together a guidance document.
We've gotten influence from both the courts and the legislature, and now we kind of have a clear path forward.
SB 221 says regulators need to do a greenhouse gas analysis whenever approving a project that mines or burns fossil fuels, and they can do one on other projects if they determine it's necessary. The guidance document lays out specific tools for agencies to calculate direct and indirect impacts.
We will have just a more robust assessment of greenhouse gas emissions moving forward, and for state agencies. And we just have, remember, this is a tool for agencies to utilize and provide that assessment in a way that each agency feels appropriate for the action in front of them.
The new guidance is being closely watched by groups like the Montana Environmental Information Center, which has sued DEQ, claiming its current greenhouse gas assessments aren't sufficient.
They have a lot of information in this guidance document. They did a good job of putting it together. It's a baby step in the right direction. But then what you see at the end is DEQ constrains its analysis and its decision making to a point that it's nearly meaningless.
Executive Director Ann Hedges says the draft document doesn't connect the dots on the impacts a single project could have on climate change, and that it doesn't dive deep enough into possible economic impacts from climate.
And by not disclosing the economic harms from the climate emissions, you're not comparing apples to apples when you're making decisions. You are simply comparing all the benefits and none of the costs. And that is, it's not how MEPA is supposed to work. It is certainly not what our Constitution requires.
DEQ is accepting public comment on the draft document through October 30th. They'll also be taking comment during 3 public meetings next week in Billings, Missoula, and Helena. You can find out how to participate on our website. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.